Why do humans rarely eat predator meat? Imagine walking through the wilderness with two possible meals in front of you. On one side stands a deer, large, full of meat, and more likely to run away than attack. On the other side stands a lion, fast, armed with claws and teeth, and perfectly capable of killing you. Which one would you hunt? Humans can eat predators, and many cultures do. People consume tuna, shark, crocodile, bear, seal, and other animals that hunt for food. Predator meat is not automatically poisonous, but throughout history, humans have eaten herbivores far more often. So why do we rarely eat predators? The first reason is simple. Predators are much less common. Every step up the food chain loses energy. Plants capture energy, herbivores eat the plants, and predators eat the herbivores. Only a fraction of the energy from one level becomes new animal tissue at the next. Because of this, an ecosystem can usually support far more prey than large predators. Research across terrestrial, freshwater, and marine food webs consistently finds much less predator biomass than prey biomass. For ancient hunters, this meant that deer, horses, wild cattle, and other herbivores were easier to find in useful numbers. Killing predators would also have been extremely dangerous. A wounded deer usually tries to escape. A wounded lion, wolf, or bear may turn around and attack. Large carnivores are built to fight, with powerful jaws, sharp claws, speed, and fast reactions. Humans sometimes competed directly with them for carcasses, and historical evidence shows that encounters with lions and leopards could be deadly. Hunting a predator therefore offered a questionable reward. Enormous risk for an animal that might provide less meat than a large herbivore. Predators also spend much of their energy chasing prey. As a result, many wild carnivores are relatively lean. Humans can eat lean meat, but surviving entirely on extremely protein-rich food is difficult. We also need fat or carbohydrates for energy. Research on human evolution suggests that people often prioritized fatty tissues, marrow, and organs, not simply muscle meat. A large herbivore could provide muscle, fat, marrow, hide, bones, tendons, and organs in one successful hunt. A lean predator might offer less of the most valuable resource, fat. Disease is another important reason. Animals that eat other animals can acquire parasites from their prey. If the predator is then eaten raw or undercooked, those parasites may infect humans. One famous example is trichinella, the parasite that causes trichinellosis. Human infections have been linked to undercooked meat from bears, wild boars, wolves, seals, walruses, and other wild animals. Bear meat has caused several documented outbreaks. Cooking predator meat thoroughly can reduce many biological risks, but prehistoric people did not have thermometers or modern knowledge of parasites. Top predators can also accumulate substances already present inside everything they eat. This process is called biomagnification. It is especially important in aquatic food chains, where mercury can become increasingly concentrated as small organisms are eaten by fish, which are then eaten by larger predatory fish. That is why animals such as some sharks, swordfish, and large tuna can contain higher mercury concentrations than species lower in the food chain. However, much of today's contamination is connected to modern environmental pollution, so this does not fully explain ancient dietary choices. Taste may have mattered too, but there is no universal predator flavor. The taste and texture of wild meat depend on the species, age, diet, body part, storage, and cooking method. Meat from an older, active carnivore may be lean, tough, or strongly flavored, but some people enjoy it. Culture then reinforced these practical choices. Once communities became accustomed to hunting certain prey, they developed tools, recipes, traditions, and taboos around those animals. Some predators became feared, respected, sacred, or viewed as competitors rather than food. Later, farming made predator meat even less practical. Humans domesticated herbivores and omnivores such as cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and chickens because they could be raised on plants, scraps, or grazing land. Feeding meat to a large carnivore just to eat the carnivore would waste enormous amounts of food. So why do humans rarely eat predators? Because they are scarce, dangerous to hunt, often lean, and sometimes carry serious parasites or accumulated contaminants. Predator meat is edible. But when humans could choose between hunting an animal with horns that tried to escape and an animal with fangs that tried to kill them, the